have a brand new enclosure for our corn snake Phoenix.
Build my 4x2x4 Meridian enclosure. This definitely looks like a really fun jungle gym.
Phoenix is thriving in her new enclosure. Friends, I built a brand new enclosure for our corn snake Phoenix. If you saw it during our Zen Enrichment challenge, I made a snake board for her and some of our other snakes here in the office, but I wanted to make a permanent one within one of the enclosures. Stick around and find out how I did that. Again, if you like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified for more videos like this.
Welcome to Zen Habitats! Here's my handy dandy little mock-up book. Like other enclosures, I like to sketch something out before I do it so I kind of have an idea of what I'm going for and, you know, a guide to follow as I go along. Now, for Phoenix's build, I saw her utilize the snake board that we made her for her Zen Enrichment challenge. She loves it, so I figured the best thing that I could provide for her is a permanent snake board within her enclosure. That's what we're going to try to recreate today. Currently, Phoenix was in a 4x2x2 enclosure, which is totally adequate for a corn snake, but we have noticed that she climbs so much. Corn snakes are semi-arboreal, so they will utilize the space if given to them. So we really want to give her this cool 4x2x4 Meridian enclosure. What we're going to do first is put in a bunch of different PVC perches for her so that she can climb through, figure eight through, squiggle up in between them, etc. Then we're going to add some other hanging accessories. So I wanted to pick things that were a little odd but could be used as climbing items. So we have this really cool dog ball that you can hide treats in. I'm going to use it as like a little nest for her. I might hide some pinky mice in there and it'll be like a little nest raid for enrichment. The other thing we have is a fruit basket that I'm also going to put like sphagnum moss and stuff in, so she's got different layers that she could potentially sleep in or just hang out in. And then I'm also going to add some of these cool bird perches. So there are these flexible, made out of rope perching that has some screws on the end, so you can screw it right into the enclosure. The other one is a hanging version. It's just a big spiral of the same type of perching, and I'm just gonna hang that from the top screen. Some other things that we're gonna add that will make it appropriate for a corn snake is we're gonna have a cool side and a warm side. So down on our cool side, I'm just gonna use a tipped over flower pot, and that will be her hide down there. And then for her warm zone, I'm going to use a Zen Cave. So we're gonna have a floodlight or a halogen floodlight basking down on the top of that Zen Cave, so it's gonna get nice and warm in there for her. And then to finish it off, we're gonna add some fake vines. I do want this enclosure to be semi-bioactive. I don't know if that can be called semi or not, but essentially I'm still gonna add bugs. I'm still gonna have some leaf litter in that loose substrate. The only thing I'm not adding to this enclosure is live plants. This definitely looks like a really fun jungle gym. Like, I want to shrink myself down and put myself in here and play on all of the different bars and swing myself and all of the things. I really hope that she will utilize every inch of this enclosure and really build up those muscles and live a very enriching life. To start off this build, I needed a bunch of PVC pipe cut down. So I needed my friend Sean here to cut all the pieces. So beforehand, I measured everything to size based on a drawing that I made. I tried to figure out where all the holes needed to go and then the lengths of the different pipes. Then I assembled all of my pipes. So I put on caps and corners depending on how I wanted each pipe to look. So some of them are just gonna come straight out of the back of the enclosure. Some will be connected via 90-degree angle couplings. I had to get those all figured out and make sure each one was appropriate based on what I drew out. Then, to make things easier for cleaning, I wrapped each one in vet wrap. That way, when they get soiled later on, I can just take the vet wrap off and put new vet wrap on. The next thing I needed to do was build my 4x2x4 Meridian enclosure. I am putting it in this space that's a little narrow, so as you can see, I'm having some trouble getting through the doorway and making sure that I get the enclosure put together appropriately. Once I had my enclosure in place, it was time to start drilling holes and drilling all sorts of things into it. What I needed to do was put in a shelf as well as drill all of my 1-inch holes for the back that my piping is going to sit into. I also had to drill a couple holes into the shelf just to add a little bit of extra support onto the shelf brackets themselves. This is going to just give a little bit of extra, like I said, support, because I'm going to be putting my Zen Cave up here and I want to make sure that it doesn't come crashing down. Once I got all of my holes put in, I had a lot of things that I had to clean up, so I used my little vacuum to clean up all of that extra plastic that had fallen out. And then I put in my bio basin because we are still going to add in a nice deep substrate layer for Phoenix. And of course, I have my helper, Nash, the office pup. He is always so curious to see what I'm doing. I love having him around here. Once my bio basin was in, now it's time to start installing all of my pipes. So I had marked which one went where with some clear plastic tape. I put 17-inch bar goes here with 2 arrows between the 2 holes, so I knew exactly which one it needed to go to. So then I actually did need a hand screwing in the coupling on the back side of the enclosure. Sean was back there holding it while I was pushing these on. The other thing that I added was some of these grommets, and that was just to help make it a little bit more secure and a little bit more stable against the back of the enclosure. I wanted to add was these cool flexible bird vines. So they're like made out of rope and string and they have screws on either end. I essentially just made a couple more screw holes and connected those up. Then I hung a bunch of stuff from my screen. So we have a dog toy, we have a fruit basket, another bird perch. I really hope that she uses all of these climbing things. Then it was time to start putting in my substrate. So I am doing a mix of cypress mulch and some sphagnum moss, and I'm also adding in a cleanup crew. I'm not doing live plants in this build, so I'm not exactly sure how successful the cleanup crew will be, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put in leaf litter and all of the things like a bioactive enclosure, minus all of the live plants. So wish me luck with that one. Once I had all my substrate in, it was time to put sphagnum moss in some of those accessories like the fruit baskets and that hanging dog toy. I also put a nice thick layer of sphagnum moss on the shelf where I'm going to put her Zen Cave. Since I'm not doing live plants in this enclosure, but still wanted to have some cover, I am using a bunch of these fake vines. So I'm attaching them to the top screen and kind of making a little bit of a canopy for her. So it's blocking out some of that light, but she still has access to all of her UVB light. I also took some of my fake vines and I wrapped them around the fruit basket and some of the bird perches, just to give it a little extra. In Phoenix's old enclosure, she had this beautiful potted fern that unfortunately died. So I have this empty pot and I'm going to use it as a secondary hide for her down on the cool end of her enclosure. I also added a little bit of the vines around the Zen Cave just for aesthetics. I really wanted this to look full and lush. I might go in and add more vines later on. The last finishing touches were to add her water bowl and get the doors on, and then it's time to introduce Phoenix to her brand new enclosure. I can't wait to see her use it.
thriving in her new enclosure, and I really hope you all enjoyed watching how I built this enclosure for her. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, as well as our other social media platforms. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, etc. Make sure to follow us on all of those and hit that notification bell here on YouTube so that you'll be notified for more videos just like this one. Potato!